Hey, welcome back to the Cybersecurity Whisperer, where we cut through the noise, expose the real threats, and give you the insights you need each week. I'm your host, Elliott Franklin. Let's jump into the stories because, as always, the cyber world does not sleep. First up, we have pharmaceutical firm Inotiv. Now, they're investigating a ransomware attack that disrupted operations on August 8th. Now, it's the Qilin ransomware gang that's claiming responsibility, not one that I'm familiar with. They're boasting that they've stolen 176 gigs of data, and Inotiv has shut down access, and they brought in third-party experts and notified law enforcement. And this is a reminder that healthcare and pharma remain prime targets because downtime equals lives impacted and millions lost. And this group, it's Qilin, they've got a track record. They previously hit Lee Enterprises, causing millions in damages. So our lesson here is companies in life sciences, they need not just backups, but offline alternatives ready to go. Now, Inotiv has done this, but recovery timelines remain unclear. And so business continuity, it can't just be a plan. It has to be a tested muscle, unfortunately. Next, let's talk scams. Fraud expert Trace Forshew, he argues that that we are way behind the UK and Australia in fighting payment scams, and that's probably true. Over there, ad platforms like Google can only allow approved financial firms to advertise. That simple step has reduced fraud dramatically, but in the US, we don't have a central fraud fighting agency. Instead, fragmented regulators all cover bits and pieces. Fushi suggests that Congress create a dedicated fraud body, something that could coordinate nationally. Now, our lesson is until this happens, businesses and consumers have to remain hyper vigilant. Don't trust financial ads at face value, and for businesses, consider educating your customers about impersonation scams because the attackers are not waiting for Congress. Now, grab a Big Mac for this one because a researcher named Bob Dahaka found a huge flaw in McDonald's systems with a simple URL trick, changing login to register, and that opened doors to sensitive corporate tools, including APIs that could have been hijacked for phishing campaign. But here's the kicker. Reporting the flaw, it was harder than finding it. McDonald's removed their security.txt file, leaving the researcher cold calling corporate headquarters and guessing employee names off LinkedIn. Eventually, though, McDonald's did listen, but not before firing one of the employees who helped with the research. Not sure why. So our lesson is bug bounty hygiene matters. If you don't make it easy for ethical hackers to tell you what's broken, they'll either go public or attackers will exploit it. So security.txt exists for a reason, so use it. Now, Cloudflare has started blocking unauthorized AI crawlers by default. Their CEO, Matthew Prince, says, unchecked scraping threatens the entire ad-based economy of the internet. So this is a fascinating pivot, protecting publishers from AI-driven content theft. I mean, without fair rules, why would anyone keep creating content if AI companies just steal it? So our lesson here is expect to see a battle between open access and content monetization, because AI bots will get smarter, but infrastructure players like Cloudflare, they're stepping in to set boundaries, which is good. Now, hackers are poking holes in GPT-5 like it's Swiss cheese. Researchers found that even simple tricks like adding hyphens or role-playing can bypass its safety filters. One method, called the echo chamber, it slowly nudges GPT-5 into producing dangerous content like Molotov cocktail instructions, all while staying in narrative mode. OpenAI says that GPT-5 is its most advanced yet, but red teamers found it fell for 89% of attacks in its raw state. Now compare that to GPT-4, which, with hardened safeguards, fell only 3% of the time. So our lesson here is AI safety, of course it's not a solved problem. Enterprises are rushing to adopt models that need layered safeguards, monitoring outputs, enforcing kill switches, and treating AI as untrusted code until proven otherwise. Well, another big industry shakeup. Oracle's legendary CSO Marianne Davidson is out after nearly 4 decades. Her departure comes as Oracle lays off staff and doubles down on AI investments. Now, Davidson certainly had her controversies. Remember her 2015 blog telling customers to stop reverse engineering Oracle code? But she also represented old school security leadership. And so our lesson here, this signals a generational shift. With AI reshaping strategy, many companies are pushing veteran leaders aside for new blood. The question is whether security culture will keep pace or take a back seat to AI hype. Now, from burgers to cars, the Flipper Zero, a hacker's multi-tool, it's now being weaponized with underground patches to break into cars. We've got Ford, Audi, VW, Kia, Hyundai, you name it. Developers are selling this firmware for up to $1,000. If cracked versions leak, expect a new wave of thefts. As one researcher said, Kia boys will be Flipper boys by 2026. So our lesson here is, look, manufacturers, they need to upgrade from static key fob codes to rolling codes and stronger cryptography. Otherwise, this just turns into an epidemic of digital carjacking. And no, you don't ban the Flipper Zero. You push back on the manufacturers to secure their investments. Now, big news in cybercrime courts. A Scattered Spider affiliate was sentenced to 10 years in prison in order to pay $13 million in restitution. But here's the twist. Scattered Spider may be teaming up with shiny hunters. I mean, look at the recent Salesforce breaches, as well as Google, Qantas, and Workday. This all points to overlapping tactics. I mean, you've got voice phishing plus malicious OAuth apps. Together, these groups could be the new super threat. So our lesson is defenders need to tighten controls on OAuth apps, monitor bulk exports, and train help desks against phishing, because these attackers, they sidestep MFA and they go straight for human error. Now, at DEF CON, researcher Mark Toth, he revealed zero-day clickjacking flaws in major password managers. You've got 1Password, Bitward, and LastPass, iCloud passwords, and more. By overlaying invisible buttons, attackers can trick you into auto-filling passwords or credit cards into malicious sites. Shockingly, some vendors brushed it off as informative, meaning they may never fix it. So our lesson here is, look, until patches roll out, consider disabling autofill on risky sites and pressuring vendors to actually prioritize security over convenience. And let's end on something unexpected. Video game anti-cheat systems. Researchers again at Black Hat showed these defenses, while certainly imperfect, they often block attacks a year before mainstream cybersecurity catches on. I mean, cheating is a billion-dollar business, and anti-cheat developers, they innovate fast because the stakes are high. And so our lesson learned is, things like blocking vulnerable drivers and monitoring kernel-level tricks, they apply directly to ransomware defense. And so we shouldn't dismiss gaming security as child's play. Sometimes the front lines of esports look a lot like the future of enterprise defense. Well, that's all for this week's Cybersecurity Whisperer. From ransomware in pharma to AI jailbreaks and even video game cheats. I mean, these stories remind us that attackers innovate constantly, and so must we. Again, if you found today's episode useful, share it with a colleague. And remember, security isn't about fear, it's about resilience. Again, I'm Elliott Franklin. Stay safe, stay curious, and I'll whisper more cyber truths your way next week.